All right, yes. All right. For some reason today I cannot see you over here, but I can see you over there. If you guys have a question, type it in the chat, or just unmute and then just ask the question. Sometimes our one screen does not like to work the way we want it to. So we just work with what we got today. Like I said, I can see you over here, but I can't see you on my big screen. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start our class with a song, and this is the same song that we had in module 3. I haven't found a song that I want to share this time, and I need to make sure I have the correct translations. So going through and picking a song isn't as easy as, oh, I just want this one. I just want to make sure that all the translation is correct. We have the correct audio. So it sounds really good, because you don't want me standing here. In module 1, it was me standing here with no music and nobody helping me to sing, except if I had a guest speaker or somebody in here with me. So as we go along, we're progressing not only in the Mvskoke language, but in technology. Because technology is good when it works correctly. So right now, she's not working well today. She might have gotten a little hot yesterday. The Oklahoma heat is just too much. Hey, heat, hot. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into it. And like I said, if you guys have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat or unmute and ask the question. I can see you over there, but we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going, whenever I present anything, for those of you who have not been in my class before, when I present anything, I try to make it as easy as possible, because everybody's on their different language journey. And right here, you see that I've broken it up into the sounds that Mahaya Barnett talks about. And we go through not only this, but a lot of the things that we teach. Because I am still learning, I do get things a little off, and I have been taught academically in the colleges, the language, and sometimes they don't jive up with what some of the speakers think it should be presented, so I have to change things up. But sometimes it's hard to unlearn a way that you've learned something originally and overwrite, the spelling and the sounds. So that's what I'm in the process of doing for my stuff. And like I said, when I present something, I try to break it down so we can visually see the sounds that are spoken or sung in the songs. Also, I love to know what I'm talking about. To me, there's nothing worse than trying to learn a language and somebody says, oh, say this phrase. And then you say the phrase and everybody starts laughing and you're like, well, what did I say? Because that happened when I learned, when we were learning French, we would do that all the time to each other. Hey, say this phrase. I heard this phrase is really cool. So they would say it, and we'd start laughing, something goofy like, my hair is on fire, or, I stink, or something like that. So, like I said, I try to capture as many people as I can to help us learn with whatever place we are in our language journey. So let's go ahead and sing our song. Let me know if you cannot hear it. I'm going to assume that you can hear it, and I'm going to be singing as well. Sometimes you guys can hear it and I cannot. We'll see how it goes today. Can you guys hear that? Okay. no, that felt good this morning to hear that. So, I like to try to get my mind into the Muskogee mindset, because when we're trying to think about Muskogee, English always jumps in. And before I come to class, I always try to listen to our Muskogee hymns on my computer. So my brain will just click to Muskogee. Because like the first thing everybody does in the morning is jump up, get ready for the day. I always turn on news because I want to know what's going on and what's happening. So this is week 3. Okay. I'm trying to catch myself right here. So we always hear English. We're driving to work. We're listening to the music, English. So I try to get myself back into the Muskogee mindset, especially before I teach, so I can hear the sounds and try to switch from English to Muskogee. And so we can have a good conversation, and we can have a good teaching session. Ah, goodness gracious. I'm just over clicking here. I know. I do have an IT degree, so sometimes I know what I'm talking about, but technology always goes faster than you can learn. And if you're not accustomed to some of this new technology, you've never used it before, that's another learning curve. You know, they're always coming up with all these cool things, and it's just we need to learn how to do them. And one of the cool things that, you know, everybody knows about is the phones. You know, our little iPhones or little Samsungs or little whatever kind of phone you have to learn it. And it always changes. They always do these upgrades where you're good to go, you've got it, and then it changes. So like I said last time, I was going to put our rules in a better looking format. I always like to make our little people native looking. I know our Muskogee people are all different colors, but a lot of the times when I was growing up, this is just personal, when I was growing up, I'd never seen our brown people, our native people. I always see other colors, but I was looking for our native people. So I always try to make this colorful and native people. All right. So these are our rules for future one tense. Future one tense shows that someone is going to do something. There's no L grading in future one tense. Future one rules. Drop the ETV. Add the marker. I must have. Add the tense marker. Should be tense. Add the tense marker ahan. What ahan means going to. Add the person I, it's, or nothing. So I is first person, it's the second person, and then the open and close parentheses. There's nothing there, but that's my placeholder, and that means third person, which means she, he, it, or they. And right now, the way I've got module 4 planned out is the first week, this week, we're going over I, what I'm going to do. Next week, we're going over it's, what you are going to do. And then the third week is for, let's see, she, he, it, or they, the third person. So the first 3 weeks, first week, I, it's, and then the she, he, it, or they. All right, add your declarative endings, S or ES, which means am, are, is. When I teach, and the way I love to learn is I like to know what everything means. So I don't have to hand something to somebody and just get their interpretation. Oh, it's talking about she's sleeping, or they're sleeping, or sleeping. You know, you can get 3 different answers for the same sentence. It just depends on who you're talking with and how thorough they are in their translations. But for those of you who have been with me for a little while, I have used our infinitive verbs to use for plug and play. And like I said, these templates right now, because a lot of us are learning, I show you step by step on how to conjugate our infinitive verbs. And it made it easier for me after college, after I already graduated and I started teaching. It's like, how can I make this easier? So I took all my notes and just did it step by step to make a template for you guys. Right now, I am teaching the long math. I'm teaching the long way to do this. And while you're doing the long way of long math or long conjugation, should I say, then you will know what each little part of the sentence means. I know for some of the speakers, when we speak about language, how to teach the language, like I said, I'm Seminole, I'm enrolled Seminole, but I am Creek as well. I'm just not enrolled Creek. So both of the Seminole and Creek speak Mvskoke, but there are different dialects and different sounds. And I was asking when I first started on my language journey, I asked a Seminole elder, I said, how do I learn Seminole? How do I learn Mvskoke Seminole? And because at the time there weren't any avenues to jump on to learning. And how do you know the difference between Seminole and Creek? Nobody can tell me exactly. Just and some of the little differences that I hear is chishy. I say chishy and people say chissy here in Creek Nation. So when we're talking and if a word like that comes up and it sounds a little close, then, and you always hear Mahia Barnett's situational environment, you can kind of infer what they're talking about. Chishy, chissy, Eva, Owa, Wewa. So Eva, dog, and that's how I learned it. I hear people around here say Eva. I also hear people around here saying Eva. So I'm not going to say anybody's wrong. I'm just saying that we are all learning. And if you've learned something different, awesome. If I've learned something different, awesome. But we know what each other's talking about. It's like either, tomato. So anyway, feel free to talk. Feel free to ask questions or make any comments, because that enriches the environment of learning. And I know I will make mistakes. My tongue will get tongue-tied. Things will not come out correctly. And when I ask, if you can say something or if you can, pronounce something, just try. We all been there and nobody's gonna be perfect. I was speaking to Mahia Barnett. She goes, I'm not a master at this. So she even has a time when we're like, wait, and she backtracks. So nobody's perfect. All right, so this is the template, and I was talking about this before. I created templates in my previous modules to help you guys understand long conjugation. I know, like I said, there are speakers. When I presented this to them, they were like, oh my gosh, I'm lost. I'm completely lost. But remember, they grew up, and a lot of people grew up in the language, hearing it. And they just absorbed it daily, and they still hear it sometimes. And those of us who grew up off the reservation or outside of Oklahoma, we've got to try to capture these sounds and the ways of doing things in the way that makes sense to us. And if we've learned through public schools how to do these things, a lot of times we learn step by step. So right here, you put your infinitive verb. I'm just going to use the word, and this is from module 1. And we do have the links in the Google Drive. So I'm going to use Nizida, to buy. So you put Nizida up at the top and you put to buy right here. You spell out the word Nizida, to buy, and it shows you right here, you drop your ETV. So this is where what I have in writing comes into play, because you can visually see what's going on. So you just drop it down after the ETV, and it should be NES. Niz, right here, you drop that down, NES, and then it goes, well, no L grading. If you don't understand what L grading is, that was in module 1, so you don't have to worry about it right now. But if you want to learn about it, go back to module 1 and you can review what L grading is. So right here, NES, and then you add a han. And these are, like I said, simple steps. It means going to, future tense. I am going to do something. And there's a han, and then you add your person marker, I. Because right now, like I said, first week, we're starting with I. I am doing something. So I means I. Sometimes means I, which is the V. Means I. But this time, I means I. All right. And then NES, han, you put IS. Right here, the S is a declarative ending, which means am, are, is. Every time we do first person, we are not going to use the ES. So ES or S is a declarative ending. But since right here, since we have an I, we will not add an ES. We will not add two vowels together. If it's got a vowel, we add the S. If it does not have a vowel, we add ES. But since we have some new people today, I'm going to show you this way, because in first person is always going to end up with an I before you add the S, because we're talking about I am doing something. So that's why I went ahead and took off the, you could have ES, but right here, first person, just add the S. It's going to get easier and you're going to understand this more so later on. So just hang in there with us. All right, so you drop all of this down and you put NES, like Nezida, to buy. You know what Ahan means. And I also like to color code everything because that helps me. I'm a visual person. Also pictures, when I can, I put pictures in there as well. So you see everything color coded, and it helps you remember and understand how to pronounce and what everything means. So right here, you know, whatever I put right up there is the verb stem. You know that the red part is the verb stem. The Ahan means going to. So you see the arrow go down there. You got the I, means the person marker, I, because we're talking about I. And the S means am, are, is. All right. So right here, you would drop it down. Nezahanes, I am going to buy. So all of this conjugation drops from Nezida to buy. I think it was, yeah, Nezida to buy. Just trying to remember which word I was on because I've been doing so many words this morning. Nezida to buy, you go through your steps. Nezahanes, Nezahanes. So now you just conjugated your whole first sentence from to buy to I am buying. I am going to buy. So that to me is really cool because now you know exactly what everything means. Let me see if I can make it a little bit easier to see what I'm talking about. NES. So ES ET to buy. Buy. So now we conjugated Nizida to buy. We went through all of these steps. Oh, sorry, I can't move it when we're doing this. Went through all of the steps up above. So we see right here, this is our verb stem. So, like I said, it's in red. Ahan, you know, means going to. I, we're talking about I. And S means am, are, is. So, Nezahanes, I am going to buy. All right. So we went from to buy to I am going to buy. Next week, you are going to buy, and the following week, she, he, it, or they are going to buy. It's basically the same steps, but as a lot of people learn is to repeat and repeat and repeat, just like you do in elementary school. You sing the alphabet song, you go over, you know, whatever they're trying to teach more than one time. But Nezahanes, I am going to buy. And that is the beginning of our sentences. Like, see, you can put, Justagi. Could be egg or eggs, but Justagi. Justagi Nezahanes. I am going to buy eggs. So that's a simple sentence right there. And so now you know what each part of Nezahanes means. You know the verb stem, you know what means going to, you know who we're talking about, and you know right here, am. All right. Does anybody have any questions before I erase this, before I go further? All right. Okay. If you have any questions or you need me to repeat anything, just let me know and we will go back. Okay, so that's the template from all my pain and crying and frustration. There it is. It's all in one template. So when I find the next,
Hello, Maya.
yes, go ahead.
So sorry. How can you tell the difference between doing the ES or the S?
Okay, since let's see. Let me see if I can go back.
Sorry, I'm trying to drive and listen.
Oh, okay, you're driving. Okay. Well, ask your question again. I'm sorry.
I seen on the paper it said, is it supposed to be IS or ES?
It's IS. See right here, because right here you add we're talking about I, and I is as the step before you add your S. If you have a vowel, you do not add a vowel. That's why we used S. If it was just a Han,
Okay, so this is,
right. So if it
I'm
was,
sorry. So this is like the last one with the
yes,
echo,
yes,
similar?
yes. If it has a vowel,
Oh,
you
okay.
don't add. We do not try to create diphthongs, and that was two vowels together, like weewa, that we, you, e, weewa. We don't create those when we conjugate, but sometimes in the Mvskoke language, there are diphthongs. So if there's a vowel, we don't add one. If there's no vowel, we add the ES instead of the S. All right, did that help? Okay, so to go back, like I said, the infinitive verbs. This is a little bit easier because I've already have it showing you guys, and this is Haida to make. Let's see. Yep, Haida to make. So you can see the steps simply by just looking at the template. Plug and play is what I said, plug and play. And once we learn the long way to conjugate, I will show you this, you see Mahaya Barnett and some of the other people who grew up with the language, and they don't have to learn the way that some of us have to learn. So they just know, drop this, add this. So later on in module 4, we're just going to drop all of these things. We're going to go back to module 1, 2, and 3 on making sentences, and we're going to go, since we learned the long way to conjugate, we're just going to start plug and play. If you need to use the long template, use it. If you are progressed in your language journey and you don't need to use it, don't use it. It's just all of these things are out there in case you need to have a little supplemental steps. And like I tell people, it's almost like riding a bike. You can ride the bike, but some of us need training wheels. We're just not there to take the training wheels off, but we're still going forward. That's the main thing. As long as you're still going forward in your language journey, that's all we ask for. So here you see Haida to make. This is what I showed you when I said plug and play. You just put it up here where all of these blanks are. Haida to make. And one of the things, the reason why I like to do this is because it gets your mind thinking in all these steps, and it gets your mind to remember things. And then when you sit there and you print one of these out, get a infinitive verb and just do it, and your muscle memory of writing will kick in. It's amazing how our minds and bodies work when we let them work correctly. All right, Haida to make. Right here, you drop your ETV. There's your verb stem. No L grading. Add your ahan, which means going to. Verb stem right here, just bring it on down and add ahan, means going to. We are going to do something. Bring it on down to the next step, add your person marker, I. I am going to do something, and it's signified by I. Right here, S, you add your declarative ending, which means am, are, is. In your sentence, if you need am, use am. If you need are, use are. If you need S, is, use is. But that's all covered by this right here, the S. And I hear Mahaya Barnett say C. But right now, since we're learning, sometimes that gets a little confusing. So I will switch in between the sounds of English and Mvskoke for those of us who are still trying to grasp at the changes of the language. So here we go. Hayahanes. Remember, the I has the A sound. Hayahanes. Hayahanes. And right here, you can see also the breakdown. Verb stem. I. Ahan. Right there. I. C. Which is the S. C. And the final version of the sentence that you just conjugated right there, Hayahanes, I am going to make. So you can put in front of Hayahanes, you can put daklegi, bread. So it'll be daklegi Hayahanes. I am going to make bread. Remember, the Mvskoke sentence structure is different. So you would put what you're making up front, right here, just put just doggy, Hayahanes, I'm going to make eggs. Mikoja, Hayahanes, I'm going to make bacon. And all of these are in our module 1, 2, and 3 on our vocabulary. If you have to go back and to refresh your mind on the sounds and everything, it is out there for your viewing and you can hear it. I try to put all of my papers with the sounds of these speakers so we can hear how they say it, and we try to emulate whenever we speak the way they're speaking. Like I said, I do a lot of repetition because we need a lot of repetition to remember and to remember the steps. So right here, opaneda means to dance, and this is from module 2, to dance. Right here, same thing, you drop your ETV and you get right here, and you get your verb stem. Color-coded so you know what your verb stem is. No L grading. Opahan, you add your ahan because you're going to dance. Add you person marker, I am going to dance. Add your S, like I said, if there was no I there, we would add ES. But since we're talking about first person I is always going to be in first person on conjugating these. Hombahanes, add the declarative ending, which is the S. So, home. I'm sorry, I went back to hombahanes. I'm thinking of hombita, to eat. It's right before lunchtime. Okay. All right. Opaneda, opanahanes. Opan, ahan. Remember, I has the A sound, A, C. Hombahanes, hombahanes. All right. I know I say it correctly, but I don't quite have those inflections that the speakers have. So I'm still practicing, and it comes with time. I think I've been on my language journey for since 2020, actually. Fall of 2020, I went to college, and I graduated in 2022. And here I am. So I've learned, like I said, more of a college, the way that they taught in college. And I'm learning here from the speakers, the correct enunciations and everything. All right, Nikki, you got it. All right. Okay, so right here you have your verb stem. You got going to, person marker, and your MR is opanahanes. Right here. Opanahanes. I am going to dance. And then again, you can put in front of here, and we don't have it in our vocabulary yet, but we can say fast. You know what, fast. I'm going to dance fast. I'm going to dance slow. I'm going to dance square dance. or traditional dance. So there are things that you can put in front of there, and you have another complete simple sentence. One more, and I will show you this. I know this is a lot for some of you who have not been in the class, but this is how I teach. Like I said, I teach the long math. I teach the long way of conjugation, and because I like to know what I'm talking about and know what things mean. And to me, this makes sense. If it doesn't make sense for you, just write your notes how it makes sense to you. But these are out there, these templates are out there to plug and play. Adot to work. You drop your ETV right here, your verb stem, adot, and then you had ahan, adot kahan. You add your ahan, again, means going to. You add your person marker I, right there. And then you add your S or C in the Mvskoke sound C. But you had your S, adot kahanes. So you went from to work to I am going to work. Verb stem. Oh, the color didn't come back the way I wanted it to, but verb stem, adotka, or adot. Going to ahan, person marker I, which means A, the sound A, and then C, adot kahanes. Right there, adot kahanes. And one of the things that we've learned, all right, to my English years, when you said A in Mvskoke, the ah instead of sounding like the ah in father, sounds like English. Mvskoke A is in jump to first unread. A. Father sounds more like English. I.
Like when you say Hiya Hannes, the ah ye sounds like to my ears, it sounds kind of like an ah. It changes the ah to kind of an English I sound, but maybe I hear it wrong, or maybe you just say it so fast that it's
Hannes.
sounds kind of like that, but it's not really. I don't know.
Okay, like I said,
I just wondered what you thought about that.
Hannes, because to be he, ye, e, Ayada. That's how the sounds in Mvskoke. So Haya Hanes. Yes. So
Now don't worry about it. It's a question I have, but I've asked you and I asked Tracy Mahara Barnett.
Well, to answer your question though, when we teach, from what I understand, is a lot of our Mahayas are from around the Eufaula, Hannah area and have that sound. I've heard from the College of Mvskoke Nation, they have different pronunciation variations. So
What they say, Hayahanas? Hayahanas? Make it more of a
like Hayahanes, like the English hey, yeah.
that Hayahanas. I mean, I don't know. I've never understand that.
I'm not sure about that one in particular. One of the things that Mahaya Barnett and I talked about yesterday, after her class was when I do my teaching on the sounds, there's for the R sound, it's the or flee. That's the sounds, She's, like Chihijafles. She goes Chihijaf or Chihijafles. She goes Chihijafles, or what was it? Chihijafles. I learned Chihijafles. It's got the flea sound. And she goes Chihijafles. It's this.
Yeah, I hear that a lot too.
Yeah. So, it's the differences between who's
The
speaking.
book says THL, but what they actually say sounds more like TH.
Yes.
A soft TH. But.
Right. So I heard Chihijafles, and the way I spoke it on the word of the day, because they tell me how they want me to present it. So I put Chihijafles. So I spoke it the way they spoke it, but the way I learned it, Chihijafles. So 2 different places, College of Mvskoke Nation, that's how I learned it there. Here, they speak it differently. So either or.
Well, I just noticed, like when we're singing Creek songs is when I first noticed it, that it seemed like when it was an and a ye, or and a ye, that the vowel seemed to take an English long I sound to me. But well, thank you for addressing my question.
No worries, thanks for
Even
the
if I
question.
don't really, I'll just go by what I hear and not worry about it.
Well, and that's one of the things about English is sometimes you can say it this way or sometimes you can say it that way. Just depends on who you're with. It's like somebody's saying vase and you're walking around and they're talking about, oh, this beautiful vase. You start talking about the vase. And somebody's talking about, oh, look at that vase over there. Then you automatically start talking about and pronounce it vase, So,
I just wondered if there was actually a thing where when one of those vowels is in front of a ye, it generally changes the sound it would otherwise have in front of anything else. But maybe it does. Maybe it does. I'll just go by what I hear, and what I hear consistently is that. So
right. I don't know that there's a definite rule. Even if we look in the dictionary, and that's another thing that we've come up on is some things that are in the dictionary, the speaker's saying, hey, that's not quite how we know it. And what I addressed before is the people who write some of our literature are not native. Whoever they spoke with at the time asking questions may have spoken this way, like thlee. And then some of the speakers say thee, so.
Well, when Martin Luther translated the Bible into German, the state of the German language at that time was that all over the place where something like German was spoken, everybody spoke it differently. And he just came up with one standard form of it.
Right, and that's what they're trying to do in the dictionary, and even in this grammar, a grammar of Creek Mvskoke by Jack Martin.
Yeah.
That is a good reference, but I hear speakers say that the Lahi's got some things wrong, or it differs from how they learned it, should I say. So, you just kind of have you just got to put everything together and just, try to, there's no definites, even in English, there's no definites. We were in England and we seen how they wrote things like fair, F-A-I-R, they spelled it F-A-Y-R, tire, they spelled it T-Y-R-E, tire. So there are things different. They spoke differently. Aluminum, they say aluminium. Schedule, same spelling. They say it's schedule. So these are some of the things that we had to, all right. Let me see. I'm trying to see who said something.
Well, Mando, aboga, ayobiscus, Mado.
Yeah, I'm still learning too, so I caught a couple of words in there, but that's one of the things about language. You have to keep into it, and one of the things that people have said is the hymns that helps them to pronounce and understand some of the things. So that's why I try to show, share a hymn and everything. You can hear the sounds of the Mvskoke. And even in some of the hymns, if you look online and listen to them, they all kind of differ in their pronunciations. So I'm just thinking, the region they're from might be what has changed for them. But let me see. All right, so without trying, let me go ahead and show you these. I know we went over this last time, but some of you guys may not have been here. I will also break some of the things down for you like this. This is a different way of presenting the same thing. This is how not to do something. And this is just showing you again how when I present things, I try to capture everybody. So if one way captures your learning the Mvskoke language better than the other, just let me know. I just try to throw it all out there, be visual. So right here, like humbahanikot os is I'm not going to eat. Or, yeah, I am not going to eat, English translation. So you know the breakdown of eat, eating, going to, I not am. This time we are going eating, going to, I am. I'm going to, eating, going to, I am. So this is the Mvskoke word, hombahane os. And if you look at this part right here, it looks really scary on trying to pronounce that. Just remember, refer back to this. Use the color coding to help you pronounce things, because it goes in a straight line down and it shows you how to sound each thing out. And like I said, when you start out, you're going to sound choppy. I know I sound a little choppy right now, but the more I practice and the more I talk to the speakers, the better I'm getting. And on word of the day, if my voice is on there, I'm going to tell you, it took more than one time to get that. Because when I pronounce some things, they're like, oh, that sounds English. Yeah, that sounds like an English word or English syllable or something. So some of those suckers took like 15 tries because my mouth would not move the way that I was supposed to move it. And just because it was, my mind could hear it, I could visually see what I needed to say, but my mouth's just like, blah, 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 blah. It would not say what I needed to say. So some of those took 10, 15 different tries if you hear my voice on there. And a lot of times I try not to use my voice, but trying to catch some of these speakers around here because they're teaching in the schools and everything, trying to sit everybody down and say, hey, is this right? Can you say this? You know, it's a lot. We're all rotating around doing other things. All right, so like I said, I'm going to show you translations like this. I think that would help you guys. I wasn't able to do it this morning. Like I said, I'm still trying to finish some of these words of the day. And the words are not hard, but sometimes a word can be substituted for another word. And we have to work with what makes the most sense for this sentence. All right, and again, so this is, like I said, similar to what we're going to do. We're just not going to have the equal right here that we had last time. So it'll be hombahane, you know, we're still going to do that. And then we're not using os, we're using s or es. But like I said, I like to show you what you're saying. And so when you learn the long version of what we're doing, the long conjugation going through the template, this will break it down so easy, so you know what everything means. And you know that if you just change one part of it, it changes the whole sentence. All right, so it looks like that's all I have for you guys today. However, I have words of the day for, I think I showed you guys. See, did I show you guys June? Yes, I did show you June. Right? July, come on, July. All right, so these are what I've been working on. And sometimes some of the spelling is not in the dictionary, but is being used. If you look at the dictionary and even this little book, it doesn't have the whole vocabulary in there. So some of these things, I'm like, okay, what does this mean? And we've been going back and forth, and that's why it's on July. I know we're in August. August is done, but let me go ahead and share some of these with you. I liked it because it was a story using the alphabet, and these are in the Google Drive, so you can refer back to these stories whenever you feel like it. I know they were once on our Facebook, but we are revamping our Facebook, and they're not there anymore. And a lot of our videos that were on our old Facebook, we're trying to move over to our new one. There's a lot of things happening. So listen, if you want to, you can go ahead and stay with us and listen to these.
This is a little poem about the fusahaya, the mockingbird. Using our Mvskoke alphabet.
Right, so for some reason, don't ask me why, Google Drive does not want to put it in order. I've changed it more than once. So this is 2.
Ah, Abohajax, Puidagi, Amogat. Listen, all you children.
Right, see right here, the word Puitagi, the U and the E, that's the diphthong where you have two vowels together. And when we conjugate, we try not to create any diphthongs, but there are some in our language, Puitagi. And that's talking about children. 2, let's go. 3.
G. Junior Haggett
is singing for you.
Sometimes we had to have a translation. Sometimes somebody said the letter, somebody said the Mvskoke part, and somebody else said the English part. Like I said, we're running around trying to get everybody taught in some of these public schools. So we've got different people saying different parts, but it's all there. It just sounds kind of
E.
different.
Ido Ohlegen
Is sitting in a tree.
Fee. Fossahaya Yahaga Jokes.
The mockingbird is singing. He
Hithagin Fushwa Sahais.
so well other birds he mocks.
A. Yahagida Yichidomis. To sing with him is very difficult. G. Kifida Gomages.
Though very hard you try to learn.
Lee.
Lubkin Yehegeda Diopozida. Quickly he changes his tunes.
That one, it took me forever to make my mouth move the way it needed to.
Me. Miskin Afachit Afit. In summer, she is happy. Ni. Nithi Umov Yehagen Hayatkit. Some nights he sings till daylight. O. Osahwan Sahahigos. But the crow he cannot mimic.
I know a lot of these vocabulary are new for me as well. Because I was like, I've never heard of that before. And if you hear the speakers, you know, they have to pause and, you know, do their sounds. And some of it's just like, oh my gosh, try, you know, I challenge you to, when you look at this, try to say it after they say it and see how your mouth moves. And if your mouth needs more practice, you just keep practicing. But I guarantee you there's going to be a place on one of these where your mouth says something completely different than what you can hear in your head. You know how to say it, but your mouth's like, boop, didn't say exactly what it needed to. Because it seems like tongue twisters sometimes.
B. Benwamo Sahahigos. The turkey he doesn't mock.
I thought this was a really cute little story, and so I wanted to present it to everybody.
Theme. In winter, he goes south.
Do we have the link for that? It is in my link that I have for the Google Drive. I will give it back. I will put it back on the chat after we finish listening to it. But they will be released Facebook, Instagram, some.
C.
When he is not there, it is so quiet.
And this is, like I said, the reason why this is not published yet, because we had to keep going back, and sometimes we say things when we're teaching, but when you hear it travel over all of these internet waves and every place, and even sometimes your speakers, it doesn't sound quite like we want it to sound, so we've had to go back and re-edit. Yeah, I'll give you the link. So that's why this one is still not published.
D. Doskoji omid haget. He can sound like a woodpecker.
I remember this one too. I had to go over that many times because I said it sounded okay to me, but when it came back over to the Mahayas, they're like, wait, that doesn't sound right. So you can kind of hear some over enunciations from me because I'm trying to capture that right sound.
We.
And also some water birds.
Like I said, sometimes they feel like tongue twisters because our mouth isn't used to speaking Mvskoke.
Ajiwigon dasachi. Omis talagin omat. Spring is not far away when he returns.
There's 19.
We. He eats pesky insects. Ye, ya masijida, yipchit omit. He is difficult to tame. No one can sing his songs.
So that's a cute little poem that we had found, or that I had found when I was going through our old Facebook. They had done so many videos, but it was just words. So I told them I was going to put it to images, and this is what's come up with it. So this is something they've already done, but I'm just presenting it in a different way.
To walk.
And you see some of these are old vocabulary words.
To run.
But if you need to, like I said, just go into the Google Drive. Sometimes, and I don't know why, but sometimes Facebook or Instagram loses things.
To read.
And some of the ones that they said they've posted disappear. So they're all here. If they disappear, they're all here.
To play.
Nojida.
To sleep.
So this one came up yesterday. I learned Nojida with Nocetb. And the way the dictionary has it is Nucetv, so I had to change it. But that's one of the things with the languages. Sometimes it's spelled differently, but I since it's the Mvskoke Creek Nation, I want to make sure I present what they want me to present and how they want me to
Ojejida, to write.
present. Right, so we're getting to the end here.
Obonegida, to talk.
But I'm a visual person, so I this is my favorite part, to do all these.
Mabuhejida, to listen.
And if you listen to the speakers, you hear the richness of each of the speaker. It's different, but it's, you could just feel the energy and of the Mvskoke words. I like to hear them speak.
Danskida,
To jump.
Iskida,
To drink.
Hey, 31 July. Okay, so these are out there. Like I said, since I create them, I will put them under my profile, so you guys at any time can go in there and look to see what we have. You have module 1, module 2, module 3, and module 4 up there. So you guys have the option to go back and to review anything that we've done. You know, if there's anything we printed out, you can always go back to the modules and print out what you need. I also, there's the Google Drive, everybody, so it should pull you up to this one. This is my area. You can see some of the other things I'm working on. Mahaya Barnett, the reason why hers is on there, she has me help her set up her board, so you see some of her stuff here. You're welcome to go in there. She's teaching, she has taught all of this, but sometimes when I have to fill in for her, I'll review what she's been teaching and everything. And I will be teaching on Friday. I'm not sure for Mahaya Barnett. I'm not sure what we're gonna go over, but I will see you guys Friday. It is about time to go. Does anybody have any questions? It was a pretty intense day, just looking at the conjugations. We're trying to make it a little bit more fun and not so monotonous. I know lecture is sometimes you just want to go to sleep. I've been there. Oh, Inga. So, you know, if you guys have any questions or comments or even suggestions, hey, you know, can you do more of this or more of that? Just call up our main office and let us know, hey, you know, can you, or, you know, I don't have my phone right here, but just call us or email us and let us know some of your questions, suggestions, or comments or anything. Also wanted to remind you guys, this is an election year for the Creek Nation. I was looking on YouTube. If you guys don't know who the candidates are, I think they're on YouTube on the Mvskoke Media. I seen each one of them being interviewed. Go vote. You know, like I said, I'm not Creek, but all right, slowly getting the hang of it. I'm not Creek, but this is so important for you guys to go vote. If you see a candidate who is, and you know, and you're on there, and a lot of them have their own pages. Ask them questions, email them, ask them questions. Hey, you know, I enjoy the language. Are you going to, you know, fund the language? Because, you know, whatever your interest or whatever your need is, look for that candidate, email them, ask them the questions. You know, so that's all I say is get and exercise your right to vote, because that is going to dictate what is going to happen in I think next 4 years for Mvskoke Creek Nation. And the cool thing is our native nations we've always been a reservation, but we're, you know, the Supreme Court re-acknowledged. So we've got a lot of cool things that can happen, and you guys can make it happen. You vote for whoever you want to vote for, but just go out and vote. All right, Mado, just want to say, if anybody has any questions, comments, let me know. Hadam Jihichakak, please. I will see everyone again Friday evening for my class, at noon for Mahaya Barnett's class, and at 6:30 at night for the in-person Zoom class. Mado.
Yeah.